we need to show that this cubic equation has a solution between x equals 2 and x equals 3. And what we do is we test both of them. We test x equals 2 and work out what the value is. I'm just going to go with it and explain like what's going to happen in a second. So 2 cubed minus 5 times 2 minus 1 gives me minus 3. Okay, so I know that 2 is not a solution because I don't get 0. When x is equal to 3, I get 11. And we've basically found the value of the function at 2 and shown it's negative, and then at this is at 2, and then at 3 we've shown it's positive. And basically that means there must be a solution between 2 and 3 because at some point it's got to cross over. By the sign, and technically it's called the sign change rule, by sign change rule, because I had a negative and it's gone to a positive, there's been a sign change. That's what I mean here. And therefore there must be a root, a solution in between 2 and 3. So now find the solution to correct to one decimal place. Well, now we basically do trial and error. And I'm going to go and try 2.5. Technically, you know what, I'm going to lay it out like I should really, like a little table. So I've got x, and then I've got x cubed minus 5x minus 1. And I'm trying to get closer and closer to 0. So if I go for the point that's halfway, you might say start a bit nearer 2 because 2 gave 1 closer to 0, but it's, you know, it's up to you. I think a good shout is to try halfway. So now we get a positive 2.125. What does that tell us? It tells us that the root is between 2 and 2.5 now, because again there's a sign change. So I'll jump to 2.3. Which now gives me a negative minus 0.333. Which means that there's a sign change between 2.3 and 2.5, so it's just, you can now look at 2.4. Which gives me 0.824. Okay, so now I know there's a sign change between 2.3 and 2.4. So essentially what I've shown is that 2.3 I've got a negative, 2.4 I've got a positive, so somewhere it's going to cross over. It's just like now, does it cross over nearer to 2.3 or nearer to 2.4? That's what we don't know. And we can't just say, hey, this one's smaller, this one's closer to 0 than this one, so it's got to be 2.3. We need to be a bit more scientific. So what we do is we look at the midpoint, 2.35, and then we can see it as a sign change between 2.3 and 2.35, or between 2.35 and 2.4. It's got to be one of them. Okay, this is just like the kind of the icing on the cake parts. and we get 0.227. So basically we've shown that it's positive here, and therefore actually this was wrong. There would have been a sign change between 2.3 and 2.35. So the answer to one decimal place, that's what we're being asked to do, is 2.3. And I might even indicate it, so sign change here. Okay, well done.